What's up guys, Dragonball here with another Dragon Ball Legends PvP video. I just quickly want to talk about this team before I'm going to show you the PvP matches that I had. Unfortunately I can't do PvP video matches and talk at the same time because when I record my game I would just disconnect to the enemy, and don't want to get banned for this or anything. So what I do now is I make the matches, then I screen record the matches, going back to, you can look at your matches and rewatch them. I record them, and then I'm gonna put some music there or some text I find funny, whatever comes to my mind. So I just really want to talk about the team, so you guys know who the team is, what my thoughts about this team. I want to at least give some opinion input. The first thing I have to say is about Ultra Frieza. I think in my ability discussion, I think it really looked like they downplayed this character not being good. And just to clarify, I just compared him every time to Goku. I think Goku does it a bit more overall. That's what I thought first impression when I looked at their kits. But I didn't think this Ultra Frieza was bad or anything. I thought he was like good, but I don't know what kind of range he would be until I used him today right now, and I did not think his active gauge would be this stupid. Like, I thought like, okay, Goku gets his protection thing, he gets the active gauge, woohoo, that's not special, and then I realized, dude, you can spam those things. Like, it feels like every 3 cards you have the active gauge ready to spam, and then all the additional things it gets, so you get the long combo, the extra damage on it. And it's a short animation, so you can, as long as you don't get PV'd, you can still react to the Rising Rush if the enemy dodges you, then and rushes you can still dodge. You can also try to rush yourself. Let's, for example, you use the active gauge, they vanish, they strike out, and you have a Rising Rush, you can rush. So this Frieza is really good. You're gonna see in post matches, he does really good damage. His active gauge is just stupid, and I think it gives you at least it feels like it when I played with him. But it seems like you get a kind of bit of vanish back as well. Not much, but a little bit. So I had some situation where I managed to get my vanish back even with them. So that's not just because the enemy was like a little bit waiting, but also just the fact you can spam those things. It just makes him really good, which hurts UI Goku a lot. UI Goku cannot stay on the field against this guy. Like, you press the active gauge once, he has to dodge the second time. If you're not switching and he has the second one, getting a cat caught, free combo for enemy, really crazy. And then quickly, sorry for that. Quickly about this Yellow Frieza. About his plat overall, I think it's good. He does good damage, actually. Even against, I would say, red units, he actually does some decent damage. At least it seemed like it to me in the matches I had so far. Not all of them are gonna be on the video, but some of them I noticed he does good damage. The endurance null is really important. Also brings some interesting. It's also pretty interesting if you look at how this endurance null works against the KO guard from Yellow Goku. So what happens in one match is I managed to kill somebody with the Rising Rush who has endurance with this Frieza, who has permanent endurance null, and then the KO guard comes in. You're not cancelling the endurance of the unit, the enemy unit that you would have killed. That's important to know. So what that means is, let's just say you're rushing UI Goku with this Yellow Frieza, and then the KO guard from the Ultra Goku comes in. The transforming UI Goku will heal and will still have endurance, so you need to know that. But other than that, again, he does good damage, he has a lot of health, tanks decently well actually. Even against Captain Goku, he's not that completely screwed, so I think they did a good job with him. The only thing I don't like about this guy is that he gets only cover null on his green cards, and the other way to get cover null for this guy is if you have a dead ally. So that's a bit annoying, but other than that, content with him, content with the team. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I really like the Ultra Frieza. Maybe active gauge is kind of too much, but also this Goku is kind of busted, so I think it's deserved in that sense. And I also like the yellow Frieza flat. So Ellery is potentially able to come back into the meta, I would say. If they get a good third character, I think Revival Frieza and Go Frieza is sadly not good enough to really fulfill the team. Although I would say Revival Frieza is probably better. I mean, he has the healing, the extra damage support, so yeah, and the revival. So, all right, I know that you, gonna show you guys the PvP matches. I hope you guys have a lot of fun in this video, and see you guys in the next one.